What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for watching. We are going to have some earnings coming out pretty soon right now. And when they do, we'll have them for you right now. But wow, what a big day it was across the board. I mean, not really so much for the NASDAQ or anything like that. We did have a minus 0.4% here on the NASDAQ as we go. Hold on, I got to log into this. 104.029, 104.029. All right, there we go. We're logged in now. All right, Bitcoin. Wow, what a good day for Bitcoin as this IBIT there continues to go to the upside. I prefer to look at this. We could talk to Bitcoin with Michael Noss. We had him on last week, and we were talking about sort of Bitcoin maybe being in a range. Let's get his opinion now that we've broken out through 50,000. So I'm not going to do too much on that, but as soon as Michael comes on, we will definitely be talking about that. We are also streaming live right now on X, so go find it on Twitter, and you can see what we're all about right now. So we're waiting for, there's ANET coming out very, very soon. Arista Networks, when that hits, we'll have that coming on the board. I don't see it hitting yet. We do have Benzinga Pro right here today. So as soon as we see anything come through, CAR is now out, Avis. So what's up with that? Nice move to the downside. I remember this name, man, CAR, back in meme crazy time. This stock was absolutely insane. CAR, right there. We're going to watch out for that. A nice miss right there for Avis as that just came in right now as well. And remember, we will be going over everything with Benzinga. So if I see anything hit on here, we'll get that through. But it's not a huge amount of earnings. We do have it listed on the board there. We have we have Shopify tomorrow morning, which is going to be a big one to talk about. But we do have Michael Noss coming on, and we did talk also about having potentially, just want to make sure. Yeah, okay, so he wants to talk maybe about Canada Goose a little bit as well, but it was the TAN ETF. And it's just so funny that Michael talked about this earlier this morning, and we are getting a nice little boost up here. So TAN this morning started off at $46, went all the way to 48, so that's a good one. Thanks, Michael, for that, as he hit right up to the 50-period moving average as well. So that's a good one, up 4%. And, of course, this is the solar, Invesco Solar ETF. We'll talk to Michael about why he likes that, but you saw possibly this morning as well. Not gas, though. One goes up, one goes down. Where's my fail button on here? There it is right now. We'll hit fail on UNG as that's just lower, lower, lower. I mean, it is so warm. It's not super warm right now today, but we were at 14 or 15 degrees. You guys saw me and Brendan do that or heard about the podcast there, and it was like 12, 13 degrees. That's like almost 60 Fahrenheit here in February as we approach Valentine's Day. Brendo, you ready for Valentine's Day? Nope? Okay, good. All right, so we'll pass on that. If the wife is listening, I'm not sure it matters because you guys don't really do too much. I remember that. There it goes. I feel like that is a Hallmark holiday. Like, I get stuff, obviously, for the wife, but then also for my daughter. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, KRE, again, nice downside move recently, but we did get that nice bounce up there coming on the KRE. Nice little action today as we've seen NYCB try to bounce back a little bit. Again, New York Community Bank today. Actually, wait a second. Today, that's today, no? What's going on here? This is from the 12th, right? So New York Community Bank actually up zeros today. Had a nice move up. And I actually didn't see this fall back in. So my bad, took me by surprise there. NYCB makes the move back up to 550, then closing in around 490. So that's a downside move. I don't like retail, and you could see what happened to Amazon today. Oops. Here's Amazon right now. So Arista is out, but AMZN, just AMZN. Again, today, nice downside move for Amazon. We've talked about this. I like the name. It was breaking out. We did have a long today. It was a bad trade early. We kind of got out of the way, but then we really faded this move late. So Amazon closing near its lows of 172. So 172.20, its bottom of 171.60. I would say no to this name. The name that I really like, though, I was going to look at Walmart quickly, but let's just check out ANET because Arista is out. So there it is right now, ANET out. We're going to go for a 1-minute chart here just to see the movements on what's going on with Arista. So right now, Arista Networks, 280 down to 260, getting hit a little bit here by ANET. What are the numbers that I have? Arista Networks right here pulling back in. So $2 versus 170, that should be a bang, right? That sounds good. Sales as well beating. We're going to have to find the guide. Must be lower right now for Arista as they're starting to fall back in just a little bit. Medium beating expectations and beating on sales should be pretty good right now. So we'll find out. Tether CEO says Tether could reach 1 trillion market cap. I thought there was some fugazi in Tether, but I guess not. 152 to 156 right now. This is what they're looking for Arista, the guide. 152, 156 versus 153. That should be fine. So I feel like this name may be falling down here on nothing that I can see. We'll wait for ANET to come out very, very soon. Tomorrow's big play for me is going to be Shopify. Shopify reporting tomorrow. I think it's out of my ear. We don't have any major earnings coming through. Shopify tomorrow, again, I really like this 83. I'm looking for a pullback in on this name. We've talked about Shopify. Again, I want to give a shout out to Trade Ideas because I honestly, Michael's going to be mad at me because this is like the simplest thing that Trade Ideas does, but I really like it. It's just this little details page. And Michael's built this, so if you do need a Trade Ideas layout, either myself or Neo's or Brendan's, he has them all lined up as well, Sharif, anything like that. Or if you want this little layout, this is the races. They're pretty cool. You can start and restart them. They're just set to 6 minutes or 2 minutes here. We have 6.5 into the close. Anything comes through, but it's this little detailed page that I like because it gives me the short interest as well as the market cap, gives us options ranges as well. The only thing, Michael, if you're listening, I wonder if it has PE. I've looked for PE on here before and haven't been able to find it. Oh, here it is right here. Sorry. It's not PE, it's something else. I'll bother Michael about that because it does have PE. But anyways, there it is right now. We're going to find out 107 million market cap. Not huge for Shopify, but it's the short float that I'm interested in right there. Only 2% for Shopify. They come out tomorrow, so that's going to be pretty interesting for a name to follow in tomorrow's earnings. Shopify today started off having a pretty decent day, but if I'm not correct, it did end, does end, on its low. So Shopify move back in, make the move back to 91, then sort of finishing on the lows. Of course, that is Shopify. So what I actually want to talk about today was ARM. And I've asked my good friend to talk a little bit about this as well. I don't know exactly, and shout out to everybody that's here on the chat, man. Thank you so much for joining here again. You guys are talking about the chat, and I just saw NYCB there, bought NYCB. So we'll find out more about that, some insider buying coming through. Wow, ARM, no ARM, as if. I kind of said for a joke that I was going to hold this until compliance kicked me out of it. Should have done that. I had to get out right there at the end of the day at 150. This is down to 144. And those of you that were watching the closing show, what price did I say I was putting my bid at? 144.50. That's where we were bidding. That's filled now if we had a bid there, but we had to get filled at the end of the day. But the reason why I want to talk about this name today is because look at the exuberant buying here off the open. Like as if we started at 118 and then ripped all the way to 164. Like what is new? These kind of stocks really bother me. Not because of FOMO or anything like that. It's because they become hard to trade if you're not part of the beginning move. So I mean, I feel like right here was a buy. We talked about that. Based out, came back. Look at the touch on VWAP. Maybe Michael's going to talk a little bit about an anchored VWAP here or something. But I feel like, and I hope Michael agrees probably with this, 127, 128 feels like that was the missed buy. I'm always going to miss this first move because I'm not going to take ARM when it's moving like $10 straight up and I don't already have it. So it's this pullback into VWAP right there that happened in and around 950, giving us sort of, okay, we found an area to support VWAP, so we're going. So that was a good take there at 128. But you know what? I thought we got this exhausted up here near 150. We were down a couple $100 here shorting this. Then we said, Stone Cold Steve Austin style. And then it just came all the way back down. So we get stopped out here. And at this point, I'm like, man, what have I done? I'm starting to question life and everything like that. I'm not actually doing that. But then once it comes back in and we hit, then make that move back up. Now all of a sudden I have an area that I can go against. So we properly share size now because we are gonna give ourselves about $2 or $3 up to this 165 area. So here's the shorts in. There's a take at 136. There's a take again at 138. Anyways, the short really started to print. And I'm proud to tell you that ARM, despite others being out on this name, we really did crush this. This was the #1 stock. I know Neil was negative on it today. He mentioned that, but this was the #1 stock for the office today. It was ARM, and it was a beauty. We like ARM, and if I can get an opportunity to short this tomorrow, I'm going to do the same kind of thing. I like ARM to short that into that move. So in just a couple minutes, I will call up on Mr. Noss, and we will talk. Yeah, I know he's ready, but I'm not ready for him. We'll talk about that very, very soon. And the reason I just joking about that, we can always have Michael on. I just wanted to go quickly over some of this. FXI today. Me and Michael have talked about this over and over again. We talk about this actually with a lot of guests. I wonder about this Chinese move, man. There's so much negativity around the Chinese economy right now. They're still the world's second largest economy. I talked about Nvidia's market cap, basically all of China. There's something wrong when that hits, right? They have, oh, by the way, yesterday I meant to trade this. I went over to the wife and I said, how many Temu apps did I see? And apparently it's called Temu, I think it was, yesterday on the something called the Super Bowl. That was like a huge ad. And look at this. Look what this did early. Wow. I said to Marissa, I was like, I need to buy Pinduoduo tomorrow because of all of the love that app got there during Super Bowl. It was literally said, shop like a billionaire, download the Temu app. And I was like, okay, but anyways, a nice move up and then a pull back down in. But PDD on the daily has looked really sweet, man. So that might be it, but watch out for 121 losing. It was there, 128 today. Huge move up for that. And again, the reason what I look at is Alibaba. I really like this name. I thought their quarter was okay. They found Jack Ma. They talked all about AI. That's a joke from like 3 years ago. Maybe I shouldn't use it. Jack Ma is found, okay? But Alibaba, I just feel like when there's so much pain in this name, and some of the numbers for Alibaba are absolutely insane. So let's continue to look at it. If Charlie Munger, who's supposed to be a value investor, one of his largest positions was and still is, obviously the account's been passed on, Alibaba, we got to go on that one. And there was also somebody else that was a huge investor that also likes Alibaba. So they know what they're doing. Hopefully I'll hop on that as well. It's Hydration Nation. But on that note, let's hit my guy. It's the man. It's the myth. It's the legend. It's Michael Noss. Let's go. Mr. Michael Noss, the chat always gets so excited when you're about to come on here. That tan, wow. I mean, if someone just bought it off the open, that was a good trade that you had earlier today. I was sort of giving you credit for that, so congratulations. I like the tan name as well. I think there's going to be some more movement into that one. Let's let that one settle out. You want to quickly talk about tan in case no one was with us today? And then you also did mention that there was maybe an idea that you had on an underlying name. If there's anything you want to talk about, the floor is now yours. I just did 6 hours.
Sure thing. So yeah, so if anyone missed the episode this morning or when I was on this morning, I was talking about tan and solar, and I won't, for those who've been here for both, I won't belabor the point too much. But when I was doing my weekend scanning, I noticed that there was this big move in solar last week, and it actually is coming to a point, this $40 or so, where me and Shawn have talked about it a few times, and finding support at that level. Let me go into the weekly chart, and let's just look at this last weekly candle and kind of ignore this one. But if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see last week it had this massive candle off of these lows. And one thing that I actually like is, it's kind of hard to see, but it did wick right under these prior lows, and that can sometimes, liquidate some longs, get some shorts in there, cause some problems. And all of this longer term evidence at $40 a share looked like it may have been support. My argument was, hey, maybe we take a shot on it, and I did with RUN, which I talked about. And the reason for this particular run solar was more of the fact that it had a 16% short float. So a pretty wild short float on a name like this. And I spent a lot of the day looking at some other ones. Didn't find too much directly in the solar space. So I actually just bought on the open both run and the TAN ETF. But kind of adjacent to the solar space, I think, is this Blink charging. And this one's been popping up on my scans for a long period of time because it has a 37% short float you
Yikes.
can see up here. That is just wild to me. And it's putting in this RSI divergence, which again, we can talk about. I'm seeing so many of these divergences all over the market where essentially for the last low, there was a bit of running out of momentum. So for me, I picked up a little bit of this name as well. My stop is going to be right under these lows, but nearly half of the float is short. That's just wild to me.
Yeah, no, and you know another name, Michael, that reports, and actually, I really like your layout. I might have to talk to you about that for the show where it has all the stuff on the top. Is that the web-based version?
That's the downloaded version, but those
Okay,
are the web-based charts that we just put out. So yeah, you can see up top here,
I like
we're
that.
basically putting the quick, whatever you need, kind of quick and dirty, is right on the top of the chart. So short float, market cap, all of
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
More focus on the chart for a technician like me is always a good thing.
All right, I'll be sliding into your DMs and see if we can get something like that for the show because I think that's so sweet. I'm always, and I told you, I love that aspect of trade ideas, that everything is right there, and I'm going back and forth with the detail page. All right, Michael, this is going to be a good one for you, and I know you're not prepared for it, so I'm going to throw it to you. It's Upstart. I'll give you a second to look at it. UPST, they are reporting. They're reporting tomorrow evening. We've had some major runs in a firm lately, and you want to talk about a name with a short flow, my guy. It's
Ooh.
Upstart, over 41%. And how juicy does that level look at $40? Maybe I'm getting a little excited about that, but I mean, if they report a little bit more revenue than expected and give a little bit of a shot in the arm, as we know growth stocks like to get, Upstart is something that's on my radar right now. And for a simpleton like me, Michael, it's bouncing off the 200 there. It's trying to get above the 50. I like those. Those are simple period moving averages, both the 200 and the 50 on a daily chart. I really like those levels. I think it's a risk going something ahead of earnings, but this might be something worth it. See what the action is tomorrow. I really like Upstart here. Is there anything any smiley faces or anything we can draw here? Because Upstart's looking pretty good to me.
It does look like a little bit of a smiley face here. I marked up the chart a
Okay, we'll
little
go.
bit. But what's interesting, so I just drew an anchored VWAP from this last high right here was a major high. And I know you guys were probably trading the insanity that happened there,
Yep.
where it went from $10 to 60 something before falling back down. And that anchored VWAP gets us right to where we are right now. And then I drew an anchored VWAP from this high right here, and that gets us to right where we are right now. So this is a big decision point. So for me, I'm not buying anything like this going into earnings, but if I were to see a move to that $40 level or around that $40 level after earnings, I might have to take a shot on it as well. Because yeah, we're watching a 41% short float on that
Yeah.
is absolutely monstrous. So if they start to get nervous, they're gonna have to go, and that's gonna lead a pretty massive rally.
I just have to interrupt quickly here. We do have ZI, Zoom Info Technologies, coming over to my chart. Nice beat for anybody there looking at ZI. So I just want to give it because people are talking about it in the chat. Here's Zoom Info. EPS, they're seeing a higher EPS moving forward to Q1. Looks like they're going to beat all over the place. Better than expected Q4 results and issued guidance. So 26 cents beating 25, sales beating, so top and bottom with a good guide. There it goes. Pardon the pun, zooming up here for ZI as we go and take out the 200. Whenever we can take out 200s like this, Michael, that's not bad. It's a 5% short float. It's Zoom Info right now starting to go back up to the upside. Okay, I wanted to ask you quickly about, well, you want to mention Canada Goose, first of all. Was there anything, Michael, that you saw in that? I can call it up here and give you a second to get ready.
Yeah, I will.
Are we laying an egg
to my
here?
screen, there's something interesting I noticed on this Zoom in that will make us happy as well.
Yep.
Or no, sorry, that's for Zillow. Never mind. I saw something that the Canada Pension Plan Board
Oh.
buys 200,000 shares, and I thought this was for Zoom. It was actually for Zillow, so never mind that.
Yeah. So what I was looking at right now, you mentioned Canada Goose right now, then you might have missed my joke. I was wondering if they're going to lay an egg or not, because here goes Canada. I know, so stupid. February 1st, they've already reported, but it does look like, Michael, that on the daily, it's looking pretty good. Are you going to tell us something about that $15 mark?
That's exactly it. So the one thing we have to watch out for is this downward sloping 200-day moving average,
Right.
which I'll highlight right here. But we had a nice solid candle today, and we broke these two prior highs that we had on earnings day and on a day a little while ago. Again, just to go on we kind of have a theme going on here, Sean, where we're looking at these high short floats. A third of the float in Canada Goose is short, and we had this nice breakout candle today. So for me, that's something that I always kind of keep an eye on because as you know, if the stock's just tanking, then who cares what the short float is because they're winning. But
Right.
when you get these reversal points and you get these high volume breakout days, those can sometimes lead to some pretty wild moves if these shorts need to cover. So we've got, the breakout has already happened on the close today, but we do have around, say, 14.50 or $15. We do have that downward sloping 200-day moving average. So I'm going to watch for strength on this guy tomorrow, but I'm just going to be cognizant that it could hit that 200-day moving average and reverse.
I I know that you know a lot about the cryptocurrency verse as far as trading is concerned. Last time you and I were on the show, we did talk about this possibly basing out a little bit, but it looks like we're getting this crazy break. And honestly, Michael, I don't have FOMO. I'm in this. I mean, there's a lot of people that are in this already, but this breaking through 50,000, I mean, maybe it's because I'm looking at it with rose-colored glasses, but can we not get back to all-time highs on this move? I mean, if this was a $50 stock and it was breaking through, you and I would say, hey, we have a good chance to get back to 60, don't we? I mean, it's not even that far away. Like this, again, the Coinbase high, some craziness happening. Then we get FTX kind of sending this all the way back down and everybody worried about regulations. And then we sort of stopped. And again, thank you. You are the man that introduced me to Crypto Burb. I'm going to have him back on. But down into here, into 14, 15,000. But man, Michael, does this ever look great? And I know that you've looked at it with MicroStrategy before. We now do have some ETFs that we can play off of. But man, to me, Michael, Bitcoin just looks like, it's a one-way train, and it looks like it's going to the upside. I mean, will traders in China slow this thing down? We'll have to see what happens overnight, but I'm excited here for Bitcoin breaking and holding now, for now, above 50.
So yeah, and so I don't have a Bitcoin position, but I do own a little bit of Coinbase,
Okay,
and I do own some Mara again. You guys know I've been going back to that Mara well for a
I like
while.
that one.
I still think there's more juice to be had in the actual stocks than in the crypto itself. So what I've been playing, and you can see I already had this Coinbase marked up because this is the trade that I took,
Yep.
is this nice fall back to this area that it broke out of. Anyone who's followed me, this is my favorite setup. Find a strong area that it broke out of, and if it comes back and retests that, that's a great trade. And I'm up a fair bit from that, and Mara kind of looks like the same thing. But my worry is, and I don't know if this is just me being
Wow.
biased because I was wrong on crypto basing for a while, but it is kind of extended. Now, extended doesn't mean anything in the crypto world if you've been around for any length of time. Things can go absolutely wild for this, but I'm waiting for the moment where we could get some reversal because we need to understand that the more institutional involvement in
Right.
crypto, in my opinion, the less overall volatility there'll be.
Could be.
If you're an IRA and I say, hey, I'm going to put 1% of your net worth into crypto, well, naturally, if crypto goes down, I'm a buyer. And then if crypto goes up, I'm a seller to rebalance that portfolio. So I don't know when these ETFs rebalance, but it's definitely something I need to take a look at. But not long the coin, but I'm long the stock. So I hope I'm wrong and we just break to new highs personally.
For like when me and you talk about short floats, I mean, we gave a couple of good examples already earlier today. Does that 23% there on Mara, like for me, whenever I see a stock, because it makes sense why Mara's going up, Bitcoin's clearly going up. It has the best smiley face of all time, as we saw in your chart there. I mean, that is fantastic. And I give you full credit, man. You've been talking about that since $10, $11. But like when moves are happening outside of the reason why, like Bitcoin up 3 or 4% today, Mara up 15%. To me, I'm always looking short on those kind of plays, just thinking it's overextended. But I guess the market doesn't have to be rational.
Well, no, and you need to understand that these stocks, they're basically leverage instruments
Right.
because
Okay.
even though there's ETFs now, so this may change it, but for the longest time, if I wanted to put a bearish bet on crypto and I'm a large institution, or I even wanted just to hedge, like say I'm an institution, I own a bunch of Bitcoin, and I want to put a hedge on the other side of
Right.
things, I generally speaking can't go and short Bitcoin. There's exchanges that you can do it, and there's retail traders that can do it, but to be able to do it in a large amount for a large institution was, near impossible. And there's no options. So there's no real good way to get a hedge. So what a lot of these funds would do, and I know this from my work in the
Makes
crypto
perfect
field,
sense.
that they would have long crypto positions and they would look
Or
to hedge those and they would do them in the stock. So again, it may even out now that there's ETFs, because in my opinion, ETF's a better vehicle to hedge against. But for now, as long as that doesn't occur, I think these moves you're getting are basically short covering rallies.
all right, that is honestly, I mean, for people listening, I think that's maybe the golden goose, not goose as in Canada goose. But that's great information there. That makes a lot of sense. That's why part of the Coinbase on the way up is what we talked about. They were going to be the custodian for all of these ETFs. So as they keep on ripping to the upside, that would make sense. That Coinbase goes up and then all of a sudden wind out of it. But that Coinbase at 115, wow, what a good look there. All right, before I let you go, look, I've been talking about this. I lost way too much money trying to short this NASDAQ today. It does wind up going down. My timing was off on that, but I know you and I have gone back and forth a little bit about the NASDAQ and then, relative strength versus like the RSP versus the SPY and things like that. So I started shorting up here basically at all-time highs before eventually it falling down. It was my number one P&L to the red side was a short NASDAQ as we close at the end of the day. What am I supposed to do with this? I feel like maybe I should trade maybe SQQ or TQQ. This just keeps on going to the upside. Is there a better thing to trade? Am I going crazy thinking about shorting the NASDAQ? Are there any signs in here that maybe we're topping out? What can you tell me about the NASDAQ and possible topping out or what you're looking at?
So full disclosure, because I'll always tell you if I have a position on,
Yep.
I am short the Nasdaq. So
Okay.
you can take everything that I shorted today.
Okay.
Actually, technically, like you were talking about, because I do a lot of my trading in RSP or tax deferred account where I'm not allowed to short. I bought the SQQQ. As a way to short the NASDAQ. And the thinking I had there, and I've presented this a few times, I've been really early on this, but this RSI divergence continues. And I'm going to show you XLF in a second for more evidence on that. But essentially, just to boil it down, higher highs in price, but then lower highs in the RSI.
I
And the
love that.
RSI is simply a measure of momentum. So it's just showing that there's less momentum in this last up move than all the other moves. That and the fact that we all know that we're really extended make me want to put on a short-term short. Now, again, I'm not saying there's a new bear market coming or anything like that. Just trying to hedge against a portfolio I have of longs by nibbling a bit to the short side. Also, I really like today's candle in which we poked out to new highs and we put in that topping tail. So again, full disclosure, I'm already short, but I don't think you're crazy. And I think at some point there's going to be this rug pull that's going to get all of these people that are buying at the top. Where are we going to come down to? It makes sense to me that this, 415 or 416 area would be a good place to test just to be a healthy market. Healthy markets don't go up every day. They go up and down. So at some point we need to take a rest, but I don't think it's going to be a very long rest. I think there's a lot of people who are left out of the last move and they're just waiting for their opportunity to buy the dip. So I think we are due for a little bit of a down move, but I don't think it's going to be too crazy.
Yeah.
CPI tomorrow might be the catalyst for
I
that.
was just going to say we had CPI tomorrow, and some people in the chat are like, okay, now I feel better because if Michael Noss is short and they're short. But I love this full disclosure. That's what we're doing here on the show. So thank you so much for that. And I love the RSI divergence. That's an awesome thing. And I just messaged that to you as well. Thank you so much for bringing that up to everybody. Okay, look, we got to wrap it up. But that was some great talk. We could go on and on, as many people know.
Good.
They can find you at Michael Noss CMT there on X. Anywhere else? Anything you want to pump? Anything you're doing these days?
Substack. I sent out one today. So Michael Noss and Substack. I just talked about solar again. So
Good.
for anyone, but there'll be another one tomorrow that will probably sure be a different topic.
What's the weather like there out east?
Well, you can see we got absolutely killed with snow last week, and there may be another nor'easter tomorrow. So
It was
let's.
15 degrees here. I don't know what to
Oh,
tell you.
thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. I got you. All right, it's Michael Noss. Thank you so much for joining once again. One of my faves, Michael Noss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trader Talk. All right. Oh, by the way, check our link in the description. You can go find trade ideas. Trader TV20, I believe, right now gets you 20% off. And what a great layout that Michael had on there. I meant to bring that up at the end. Thank you, Michael, for that. And I actually love that. I'm going to try to get that here for all of you as well. Okay, just real quick. I mean, the sticky note review today, we can go over that. The sticky note is something that I put out every single day. And I know sometimes it gets like a little bit boring on the show. And I just want to tell you guys that the reason why I put this out is for myself and for all of you. These are levels of interest that I've been looking at, right? The Snapchat long at 1150, I mean, when that broke, that was a monster trade. That was one of my best trades off of here. We reversed Amazon into the short, but we did have a 175 there. The NVIDIA 715 long, I mean, honestly, on that trade, I mean, let's go over here and quickly look at NVIDIA. We absolutely destroyed NVIDIA today, and it was to the short side. We waited for it, but let's just talk about that 715 long take, right? I mean, that's basically, like it comes in there, and sure, it goes down to 714, but like that long at 715 looked like that was a good, like a pretty hot take there. If it can load up, I'll show you why we liked it. I just thought into here, we had some bids on the midday there on Friday, where we kind of held the 713, 714. So we started talking about doing the bidding down there at 715, which is why we got out. We didn't start trading NVIDIA, everybody, until we knew the market was cracking lower. So we started short, no stop outs on NVIDIA at all. It worked exactly as planned. These shorts right here, 725, that out, 717. So like $8 or $9 to the downside there for NVIDIA. You guys want to know the Snapchat. That's another sticky note name. And of course, Snapchat's going to be a New York name. So let's load that up. Oh, it's only at 1166. Why would Shawn care about that 1150 break? Well, here it is right here, 1150, right? Take it. Debt restructuring looks good. So by the way, we took that early, right? Look at Snapchat here. As we'll zoom this back out. There it is right there on the break. So again, comes back in, breaks that level. We had 1150, doesn't go back to Friday, it goes back the day before. There's the break of 1150, and there's the March higher, getting our best piece out at $12. And then we held our last 5% and got it out 1170 there at the end of the day. But a great trade there for Snapchat to end it. We got to do something that matters a lot to me, and it's going to be roll call. So I just want to thank everybody for joining. I mean, I don't do this every day for no reason. I really like doing it. I have some great guests on. We're able to sort of recap, look at what the market did, talk all about that, but I couldn't do it without you. So let's go right now and figure out who's here. Because you know what? Traders stay late, and that means a lot to me. So let's do it right now. Who's still here? We've got Magic 8 Ball. Oh, well, we like the Magic 8 Ball. We've got one on the desk. We'll hit that tomorrow. Where is Coinbase? I don't know, probably 150. This guy sold PayPal. What's up, Viro? What's up to Mitchell? What's up to BGZ? What's up to Bristol? Miss A is here. Scarjo's here. The best in the business. I'm not going to stop right here. He even tagged it. Traders stay late. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls, man. We couldn't do this without you. That guy's the best. So keep on that right now. The show just keeps on getting better. Well, I appreciate you, Mr. Westermeyer. Thank you so much for coming here every day as well. Shout out to Chef Joe. I know he's been having some health issues. If you're here, shout out to you as well. Bbot 5000, Hambone is here. Mauricio's here. Anudeep is here. Look, over 4,000 joined us tonight. We had over 3,000 when we said goodbye to Michael Noss. Thank you so much. You're really making this show, you know, one of the best shows that we have. I want to thank you for that. We're going to keep going every single day. It's Trader TV Live. Follow me at Trader TV Shawn. LinkedIn, something called Twitter or X. Instagram, all the handles are the same. It's at Trader TV Shawn. Often imitated, never duplicated, and tired as hell today. I'll see everybody there tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, everybody. I'm coming home.